My name is Louise. My middle name is Benikoff, which is my birth name, and last name's Johnson.
This is Louise, a former school teacher all the way up through superintendent. However, this was not initially what she presumed she would end up doing for her life.
I was in college, but at that time, you know, when I graduated, a woman could be a nurse, a teacher, or a secretary, basically, if you didn't work outside the home. So I had this big idea that I would forge the way and be a doctor. So, you know, there's the old adage that your parents walked to school uphill both ways in the snow, and that is literally true for me because our town was built on some hills, and I lived on one hill and the high school was on the other hill, so I'd go down the hill to the bottom and then up the hill, and often in the snow.
So, after high school, Louise pursued a more unique line of work.
I really wanted to study freshwater ecology, and Madison, Wisconsin would have been a great place to do that because it's built on two lakes. And in 1979, a man said to me, "I don't take women in my department." And I didn't question, I didn't apply anywhere else, I didn't complain, I just took a job in the community. When it was time to take the cotton into the field, they wanted me to run the lab because I had the biology degree, and I thought, well, I can't work with my husband, we'd kill each other. So I took a different direction and I became a teacher. And I loved, from the moment I stepped into a classroom, I knew that this was what I was born to do. Found out I didn't like working in the lab. I loved teaching in the lab. I'm proud that my classroom was so well managed that I could leave my chemistry lab in the hands of my students and a substitute teacher and not worry at all that anything would go wrong. So I eventually found my path, and it didn't take too long. I was 26 or 27 when I found my life path.
When you respect your students, how often do they give you that respect back?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, there was a kid I had in school, Lloyd, and he was troublesome in the classroom, but somehow the vice principal got it in his brain that Lloyd would have to apologize to me. Our science club was selling donuts at school for a fundraiser, and somebody told me that Lloyd stole a donut. But at the end of the day, when I counted donuts and money, everything matched up. There was no stolen donut. So I went to him privately and I said, "You know, Lloyd, you apologized to me, and now it's my turn to apologize to you." Lloyd became my fiercest defendant at school.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I had a class once at Temple City High School, and they like to be tardy, some of them.
Yeah.
So I had two doors. I had one door that faced the street, and then I had another door that faced the interior of the campus. And then as soon as the bell rang, I'd pull the door closed. So if you were late, you had to come around to the street side door and knock.
Yeah.
And then the detention slips were right there by the door.
way.
And you had to take your own, and fill out your own detention slip if you were late.
I mean, how does it feel to know or to think about like the impact that you've had on those people's lives?
It feels really good. When I told you last week, the moment I stepped in a classroom, I knew this was what I was born to do. And as I moved up, when I became a principal, I just perceived myself as I'm a teacher of teachers. And so my impact expanded even more, and then as a district director, assistant superintendent, I was able to have so much more impact on students. My daughter was in the color guard, and in the winter they'd have these competitions, but what had happened early in her senior year is one of her good friends in the band committed suicide, and he was late getting back to school after lunch, and so she went over there and found him. And years later, I called Jenny and I said, how do you feel about Mark's passing now? And she said, I am so mad at him because he never gave himself a chance to graduate from high school. He never gave himself a chance to go to college. He never gave himself a chance to get married and have children. He had this whole life that he cheated himself out of. I have a friend, Debbie, who grew up near me, but we never met until California. And she'd always say, buck up and do your job, you know. Became a teacher, became a principal. So, but not everybody's cut out for it. We all have our different paths, and it's not one size fits all. And it's just a tremendous gift if you can discover who you are and what you're meant to do when you're young.
You found what you love to do, and you've dedicated your life to helping other people find what they love to do.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Well, I guess that's a wrap today. Great talking to you.